Today, our channel is taking a closer look at another high-quality compact car. We've previously filmed several small models priced between 100,000 and 150,000 yuan, or roughly $22,315 in the US, but most of them haven't sold particularly well. My guess is simple. They were just too small to be practical for many buyers. But today's XPeng Mona L03, known globally simply as the XPeng L03, seems to hit a much better size. It's reportedly selling very well too. So naturally, the big question is, does it actually deserve to be called a high-quality car? A quick shout out to our automotive partner in China for sharing this video and helping make it possible. Thank you for your support. Hey everyone, it's Michael from Motor Torque. If you enjoy staying up to date with the latest automotive news, reviews, and industry updates, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our exciting content. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. At the front, the L03 keeps the familiar design language of the Mona series. The body features smooth curves and well-balanced proportions, while the raised hood and the shape of the rear half give it a more muscular, sporty character. Details like hidden water cutters, bright red taillights, frameless mirrors, and frameless doors all add to its premium appearance. Compared with the M03, the rear design doesn't continue the same front-to-rear visual theme. Instead, it uses some elements that look more expensive. Yes, that means sacrificing a little originality and recognizability, but visually it works. From the side, and especially from the rear, the L03 looks genuinely luxurious. And those two little holes you might notice, don't be fooled, they're actually for road closures. At the moment, all 6 exterior colors are available at no extra cost. Our test car is finished in watermelon red, although its official name is Not Beautiful, Grows Stronger. The only paid option is the 20-inch wheels, and personally, I'd recommend choosing them, because the standard 18-inch wheels do look a little underwhelming. If you're already thinking about upgrading, I'd suggest going for the heat sealing kit. It includes exclusive wheels, a rear spoiler, special interior colors, horns, leather seats, and several other small styling details. The brake caliper covers also change to a bronze color, which makes them look less out of place. I still have some reservations about using caliper covers, but at least these don't feel like they're trying too hard to hide what they are. Inside, the L03 follows the same clean and bright approach as the exterior, but it also has a few distinctive touches of its own. There's plenty of soft touch material, and the overall quality feels good. Both the interior and exterior door handles have been changed to fully mechanical designs. The steering wheel offers a wide range of adjustment, and when the bracket is lowered, the buttons on the left side can be used to control the air conditioning. The 15.6-inch central screen is among the best in its class. Every version comes standard with heated, ventilated, and massaging front seats, along with reclining seats. Personally, I really like the L03's cabin. It's simple, but still stylish. The sporty interior of the new P7 is also appealing. On the other hand, some of XPeng's flagship models, such as the GX, feel a little over-designed to me. Of course, the L03's interior isn't perfect. First, the wireless charging pad is simply too smooth. Because it's flat and slippery, your phone can easily move around, which can interfere with the charging process. Second, I didn't initially understand the steering wheel design. Later, I discovered that I could install an instrument panel screen myself. But since the car already has a very clear, class-leading HUD, I can accept the lack of a traditional instrument display. That said, I personally would have preferred a round steering wheel. Third, these two threaded expansion interfaces can reflect in the rear-view mirror when sunlight hits them directly. Thankfully, compared with the 07 GT, it's not very noticeable. And at night, the ambient lighting doesn't reflect in the rear-view mirror. Speaking of ambient lighting, I originally thought these areas here and here were part of the lighting system, and I was ready to praise how bright they looked during the day. But it turns out they aren't actually illuminated. The real ambient lighting is only the upper ring. However, the design of this trim panel creates the visual impression of multiple rings, which gives you a lot of visual effect for very little cost. The rear seat space and seating position of the 2103 are quite impressive for this class. The seat cushion is long enough, and the backrest angle can be adjusted manually. Even for someone around 1.8 meters, there's still some headroom left. The trunk is also fairly spacious. The lower section is recessed and folds down to create a relatively flat area. On the pure electric version, there's also a 102-liter front trunk with drainage holes. There are plenty of expansion interfaces throughout the car as well, allowing you to install accessories such as air purifiers and other equipment. There's even a drawer underneath the rear seats. A lot of new energy vehicles have plenty of overall space, yet their rear seats are surprisingly small. The cabin looks spacious, but once you sit down, it can feel like you're perched on a tiny stool. The L03 takes a different approach. It doesn't obsess over creating huge amounts of knee room or headroom, although neither is lacking. Instead, it focuses more on giving rear passengers a comfortable seating position, and I think that's the right choice. There's no question that the L03's design and practicality make it an attractive option in its class. But what we're even more interested in is how it feels to drive. Every version uses a rear-wheel drive single-motor setup producing 249 horsepower and 280 newton-meters of torque. Acceleration varies depending on the battery size. Our top-spec test car completed 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.7 seconds. In comfort mode, the power delivery is smooth and linear. Maintaining a steady speed is easy, and the power distribution feels consistent. Acceleration performs as you would expect across different speed ranges. Energy recovery can be switched off, although it isn't completely eliminated. The resulting sensation is similar to coasting in a gasoline car. For this class, the accelerator tuning is excellent and more than sufficient for everyday driving. The pedal resistance and dampening are well calibrated, so even on rough roads, the car remains stable without sudden acceleration or deceleration. That's something you don't often find in this segment. If I had to find one weakness, it would be the throttle tuning in sport mode. It simply isn't as polished. In stop-and-go traffic, there's a noticeable gap when the accelerator moves through a certain range. Press it to around 10 to 20%, and the power can suddenly come in too strongly, making the car prone to jerky movements. It doesn't quite reach the top level for refinement in this class. Honestly, it feels as though XPeng carefully developed the comfort mode and then added the sport mode almost as an afterthought. The braking performance, however, is excellent. The brakes are responsive and precise, with plenty of stopping power during emergency braking, which gives you a strong sense of confidence. At low speeds, they're easy to control, allowing you to stop smoothly without sudden changes in braking force. All three braking modes are genuinely usable. None of them feels excessively soft, and none is overly sensitive. Early XPeng models had a common issue where when slowing down to around 10 to 20 miles per hour, the brakes could produce an unnatural sucking sensation that made the car difficult to control smoothly. But since the new P7 we tested, XPeng's brake feel has improved significantly.
Now, the L03 has reached a top-tier level for braking in its class. In fact, its braking performance can even beat some cars priced between 200,000 and 300,000 RMB. If I had to point out one small issue, it would be the comfort braking function. Personally, I didn't find it as good as my own preferred comfort setting, so after trying it twice, I simply turned it off. The steering was another area where the L03 really surprised us. The initial steering feel is stable and composed, especially at higher speeds, making it easy to keep the car tracking straight. As you get into the mid and higher speed range, the response becomes direct and precise, with quick reactions and accurate control. Whether you turn the wheel quickly or slowly, there are no strange changes in dampening. All three steering modes are genuinely usable. None feels overly light, and none is unnecessarily heavy. Honestly, I didn't expect it to perform this well. The steering feels solid, agile, and stable all at the same time. In the past, steering was one of XPeng's weaker areas. Some of its earlier cars had a tendency to wander and were not always easy to keep perfectly straight. But with the L03, the steering has become one of the best in its class, even outperforming some models in the 200,000 to 300,000 RMB range. The turning radius is also fairly tight. However, during my own testing, it didn't feel quite as tight as the officially claimed 5.25 meters. It felt closer to around 5.4 meters. Later, I found out why. To achieve the official 5.25 meter figure, you need to activate the agile steering function. Of course, good steering response also depends heavily on the chassis. The L03 uses a front McPherson strut setup with a rear 5-link suspension. From the mid-range Max version and above, it also gets adjustable shock absorbers. The overall tuning feels somewhere between soft and firm, giving the body plenty of support. Body roll is controlled very well, and the car feels agile when cornering or changing lanes. There's a sense of lightness and sportiness here that's quite rare in this class. When it comes to absorbing single impacts, such as speed bumps and tight covers, the suspension performs well. It doesn't feel too stiff, but it's not loose either. There's no excessive bouncing or vibration. Even when the car goes through a single rise and fall in the road, you can clearly feel the effect of the adjustable dampening. Even with the dampening actively increased and the body dealing with repeated movements, the chassis is still genuinely good for this class. That said, we shouldn't expect miracles. The main weakness is the consistency between the front and rear. This becomes more obvious when driving uphill. The rear movement is greater and deeper, and its frequency doesn't completely match what the front suspension is doing. Interestingly though, the actual experience inside the cabin is still acceptable in these situations because there isn't much side-to-side movement and the rear wheels don't feel like they're lifting away from the road. The less comfortable situation is continuous uneven surfaces. Here, the car can start to feel a little like a seesaw, making both front and rear passengers feel less stable. Comfort mode does a better job of smoothing out vibrations and reducing noticeable body movement, but it has more difficulty controlling the rear movement over larger undulations. Sport mode raises the dampening and gives the chassis a higher limit, but in return you feel more of the road and more body movement. Because of that, I'd recommend switching on the intelligent chassis function. It can automatically change between different modes, and from my experience, it does make a difference. Overall, the L03's powertrain and chassis perform more or less as expected. There are no huge surprises there. But the steering and braking, two areas that people often overlook, are genuinely outstanding. These systems exceeded my expectations and even outperformed many cars priced around 200,000 RMB. Based on my test drive experience, it's already unusual for an SUV in this class to have no obvious weaknesses. The L03 goes one step further by having several real strengths. No matter what kind of car you've driven before, you probably won't need any special adjustment when you get into the L03. 2 years ago, I gave the M03 a very high score for its driving experience, and now the L03 has improved on that even further. The Mona series really is something special. Finally, let's take a look at some test data. During my regular commute, the average energy consumption was around 12 to 13 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is excellent for this class. It uses a 400-volt voltage platform, and its official 3C charging rate is 200 kilowatts. On an S4 supercharger, we recorded a maximum charging power of 200 kilowatts. Charging from 20% to 80% took 19 minutes, which is completely normal for this segment. With 4 single-layer glass windows and 4 Goodyear wing fins, the interior noise level measured 53.8 decibels at 60 km per hour and 59.2 decibels at 80 km per hour. Those are excellent results for this class and can even compete with cars priced above 200,000 RMB. Our top-spec Ultra version is equipped with dual Turing bracket chips, delivering a combined 1,500 TPS of computing power, along with the VLA 2.0 bracket model. Its overall capability is comparable to XPeng's flagship models, putting it right at the top of its class. It has an attractive design, a well-judged size, practical interior space, a high level of equipment, easy and confidence-inspiring driving and strong energy efficiency. The NGP system is also quite powerful. At around 150,000 RMB, you could argue that the L03 is one of the most well-rounded cars available. Based on all the videos and testing I've done so far, I still haven't found any major flaws. I just wish XPeng had given me a flip-flop. What makes it even more interesting is that this car costs only around 4,000 or 5,000 RMB more than the sedan version of the M03. Can you accept that price difference? Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Your support is what keeps us going. And now let's return to the question we started with. I believe the L03 is a rare gem in its class. It's neither too large nor too small, and that's exactly why there's such strong demand for this type of car. Its order volume clearly reflects that. But you might ask, what exactly makes a car a gem, and why don't other cars qualify? In my view, the first part is design. A premium small car needs refinement and a strong sense of individuality. The second part is intelligence, including systems like autonomous driving and infotainment. These features all represent higher development costs. In other words, you're paying more money for a smaller car because it reflects your taste and purchasing power. That's what makes it a premium product. The problem is that buyers with those preferences are ultimately a minority. Truly premium small cars rarely become mass-market bestsellers. The L03, however, manages to strike a balance between refinement and practicality, and I think that balance is where the brilliance of its product positioning really lies.